Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for December daily story number 10. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for today's December daily story about Starbucks Red Cup and holiday cup drinks. So you can see I have my Starbucks cups cut up. I saved the sleeve because it is unique to the season. It is scalloped, which it normally is not. I have a punch here, and I'm just showing you that I'm going to be using this page protector or this pocket page configuration of the two 3x4s and the 4x6. And then I am going to use, I've already kind of tested it out. You can see in the top of the video that there are some pre-punched and cut in half circles. They're 2-inch circles that I've punched out of one of the cups, and I'm going to do that with all of the rest of them, trying to keep the pattern as whole as possible. And what I'm going to do is cover the back side of story number 9, which was the one about the new ornaments that has the lights on it, and create scalloped effect out of these cups. So I know it's probably sounds confusing, but if you watch what I'm doing, it'll make more sense. I wanted you to be able to see the lights through the back of story number 9, and I knew that I wanted to use the vellum red cup, so I figured that was the perfect way to be able to have a little bit of a glow coming from story 9, and the way I wanted to decorate the remainder of that page, the white cardstock page that is the back of page 9 and the beginning of page 10, is to trim all of these circles to then create sort of the scalloped effect, which is one of the motifs this year, and I love scallops, so it made sense for me to be able to do that. So I'm going to punch this one card on camera and then do the rest of them off camera, and then I just used my Fiskars guillotine trimmer to trim down the circles into 1/2-inch semicircles. And then I'll use my score tape to adhere them in a way that kind of makes sense so that you can see all the different varieties of the seasonal cups that were offered this year in the background, making sure to leave space for the red vellum red cup. So you can see I'm showing you just this one. Otherwise, we'd be here all day. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is I was debating going back and forth whether or not I wanted to feature the gold circle that's on the vellum red cup, but I decided in the end to cover it with the coffee sleeve, because the coffee sleeve is unique to this year's or this season's drinks. It also features sort of that scalloped wavy effect. And I also think that it gives your eyes a place to rest on the busyness of the page. And I did scrap lift this idea from Morgan Beale, who did a similar thing for her Starbucks story as well. So just wanted to acknowledge that. Once I get all of these punched out and placed, I can kind of move on to see what's going to go on the right side. I do want to mention the way I adhered the white cardstock for the background of all these scallops is using some foam tape. So you'll see that as well. I needed to create width between the two pages because there's the battery pack taped to the back of story number 9, and there needed to be space for that. So just a little mention there. And then I knew I was going to use the page protectors for the right side of the spread because I have a 3x4 photo that I took of my drink at church one day, and it just looks pretty because, you know, I've got like a plaid shirt on, and I have there's a Christmas tree with the poinsettias in the back, so it just made like the perfect photo for this story. And then I knew I wanted to feature the apron, which was one of the gift card options for this year. They release really fun, unique gift cards every Christmas season, and this one was my favorite. So I put money on the gift card because you had to in order to get this particular format of gift card, which makes sense. I'm sure, you know, it costs a little bit of money for them to make the little miniature apron and the miniature gift card. And I wanted to keep the whole thing in my album this year, so I just used some red line tape to adhere it to the outside the page protector. but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. You can see that I just put all of this foam tape down to secure the front and backs of these 2 pages. And then I had just taken a pencil and kind of traced where the red vellum red cup was going to go so that I could then put the scallops around the outside of the red cup. And then I'm just going to trim off whatever is hanging over the side. And the way I adhered the vellum red cup to the cardstock was going around the border of the red cup using my Kuretake Zig glue pen. I use that quite often on vellum, and that is available in my Amazon storefront if you're curious. So also noticing on the bottom left of my scallop page that there is a bit of white space because I must have adhered some of these semicircles somewhat crooked. So I need to fill in that space, and I decide to use some pink pom-pom trim, and that's just from my stash. I think that might also be in my Amazon storefront, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's the perfect little embellishment, and I think it plays off of, you know, bringing out the pink, because there's a lot of reds and greens in a December daily album, but I love this pop of the pink color. So I'm just going to use my red line tape and then adhere the pom-pom trim on the bottom of that page. So while I am putting this page together, let me just read you the journaling from the right side of the spread on the 'Tis the Season card. That is from my stash. And I just stamped 1, 2, and 3 using the number stamps that were available as an add-on this year. And I used Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide ink to stamp those numbers, again, playing off of the pink. And I wrote that our family has always loved Starbucks and drink it regularly, probably too often. We all have our favorites, and the seasonal drinks bring an opportunity for new favorites. Mine is the chestnut praline latte. If I opt for less caffeine, I go for the gingerbread latte. Number 2 says we started a new family tradition where on days Nora has therapy, we go straight from school to Starbucks where she can start her math homework and sip on a yummy treat. Her current faves are iced chai, caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino, and white peppermint hot cocoa. Number 3 says, usually we stop at Starbucks on our way to church, and Matt doesn't always want anything since he'd selflessly prefer me to treat myself. But if he does, he almost always requests his go-to, Quad Grande Americano with cream and a cinnamon sprinkle. So that's all of the journaling. I don't ever keep that portion of the video in when I edit because it's just tedious and I'm just writing and like kind of trying to figure out what to write. So I edit all of that out. And I do that in my Project Life videos too, if you've never seen those. So once I get all of that written and stamped, I decide it needs a little something extra. So as a way of kind of tying the left side, not that the left and the right side of the spread don't already coordinate, they're obviously all the same story, but I kind of want to add a few more things because I love embellishing. So I go into my sticker stash. I have a bunch of stickers from previous advent calendars. I always get the advent calendar. It's my favorite, and this year's as well. And so I found this pink striped faux washi sticker strip. That was one of the advent sticker treats this year. And then the seasonally word phrase sticker, and I thought that was the perfect embellishment. And then I just used a few different stars in different sizes that are like that bright red and then the green and the light pink. And I sprinkle those on both the photo, the journaling card, and next to the number 10, which I actually spell out with puffy letters. I usually use numbers only, but this year I decided I wanted to spell it out. So I spelled out the word 10 using alphas that I have left over from last year's Paper Person shop kit. And I love that it's they're the perfect shades of green, pink, and red for this spread. So that was my draw to spelling it out. But I also felt like a number might get lost in all of the busyness of the patterns between these 2 pages. So I think it worked out nicely, and it was a good way to kind of fill in some of that white space on the top of the red vellum cup. So I love the finishing touch of the puffy alphas spelling out the number. And then, of course, I had to put 2 little stars next to each of bordering the number there. And that is going to do it for this story. I am very happy with the way it turned out. It did come together pretty quickly. So other than obviously like the punching out and the trimming down of all of those scallops, but I just watched Gossip Girl while I did this. It was lovely. It was a great time. Highly recommend. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a comment below. It does help the algorithm. If you use anything that you see me create as inspiration and you have social media, definitely tag me so I can see your creation. I hope you enjoyed the close-ups of the finished pages. Please like the video if you did, subscribe if you're not, hit the bell so you don't miss my content, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, friends. Remember that you are enough, and thanks for being here. Bye.